Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just finished watching Candyman, directed by Nia DaCosta and starring Tony Todd and a bunch of and both returning cast members and new cast members as they essentially deepen the mythology of the Candyman story while also managing to mix in the social commentary that you'd expect from the first Candyman movie, while it not only uses events from the first movie to build up this new story, but actually builds on them as a good sequel should. Let's get to the story, shall we? The story follows a painter named Anthony McCoy. He's a struggling artist who's trying to find a certain theme for his next bit of paintings for social commentary. But when he happens to hear the story of Candyman, and when it comes to the Chicago projects, he finds himself getting deeper and deeper into the mythology of the Candyman and figuring out that not only was Tony Todd's Daniel just one of the many Candymen, he finds that the legend goes on in ways that he never expected. And after a series of murders has been happening all over Chicago, and with his art getting more and more exposure, it seems that the legend it never truly dies. That's all I'll say about the story. The story here actually does manage to weave together the original 1992 film story to the point where the actress who played Helen Lyle and even Tony Todd himself do reprise their roles in surprising ways. On top of that, it manages to basically build around the urban legend story to make it actually pretty terrifying, not just through the gory kills, though there are a fair amount throughout the film, and they're done with surprisingly practical effects when necessary, and some CGI that actually doesn't look like garbage, despite this being a $25 million budget film. On top of that, if you love the first movie, it really expands the mythos, considering that it shows that Candyman isn't just one man, it's more the entire hive, so to speak, where it's a legend that's gone on for a very long time and is only going into its latest iteration. So it does feel like a sequel that actually makes sense and it actually justifies its own existence without straight up rehashing elements from the first film. Though it does reference the first film's events quite a lot, and obviously you really should see the first film before viewing this one. But yeah, I really liked Anthony as a protagonist, as not only does he get further and further involved in this little story as it goes along, but you really get the sense of his deteriorating physical and mental state. Almost like you yourself are getting as engrossed as he is at points. And the other characters, they're decent for what they are. Whether it's Anthony's girlfriend, his group of friends, some other characters who are clearly there as cannon fodder. Most of them portray their roles pretty well, or at least about on the same level as the original 1992 film. And as far as returning characters, Tony Todd is obviously the one that people are going to remember the most, but he actually isn't in the film as much as you'd imagine, though when he does, he certainly makes an impression. The hook, the bees, they're all there, but they're given a lot more context in a way that doesn't change the origin story of the first film, but more just builds upon it. So, while I do have an issue with certain parts of the film feeling a little rushed, considering that it's only 91 minutes, and obviously they needed to keep the story rolling along, and how some elements of the story don't always work as well as intended, I do think it's one of the better horror film sequels that I've seen in quite a while. That's why I'm going to give the 2021 Candyman an 8 out of 10. See you next time.